Welcome to Horse Talk Live. Enjoy the next hour learning more about the people, places, and products of the horse industry. And now, Horse Talk Live on Rural TV.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of Horse Talk Live on Rural TV. As always, I'm your host, Lizzie Iwersen, and we want to encourage you to check out all the Rural TV programming on myruraltv.com. You can find out what's coming up and stay in touch with all of our programming here on Rural TV. There's more than just Horse Talk out there. I know that Horse Talk Live is probably your favorite program, and at least we hope it is. But check out myruraltv.com to learn more about Rural TV in general. Also, we want to make sure that you remember that you can call in today and ask our great guest who we're about to meet any questions that you have about her program. The phone number is 877-731-6733. She is Allison Trimble, and we're going to be meeting her here today. It's always nice to have another girl joining me today for Horse Talk Live and learning about what she's doing with her horses and how she got her start and how she got to where she is today. I have been enjoying the last couple of hours getting to know her and how she has made it where she is and the people that she's working with and how she feels about the horse industry in general. And you know, Horse Talk Live is here for everybody in the horse industry. We want to make sure that people are still getting involved with horses and continue that involvement and make sure that the industry stays healthy and grows. So, Allison, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
And you are, you know, your whole life is about horses these days.
Yes,
and I guess it always has been. And it's been really fun learning about you and how important horses are to you. And that it's not always about competition. It's not always about winning. It's about establishing great relationships with your horses. And I can tell you that means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's very important.
So first of all, just tell us what it is that you do and what your program is. It's Willfully Guided, correct?
Correct. I'm a cow horse trainer, and I got my start kind of showing futurity horses and horse show horses and the National Rein Cow Horse Association.
Okay.
And I've kind of branched out into a little bit more of a training and clinic-based program here lately, and so that's what we're here trying to promote.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm excited to get. I've been excited to get to know Allison. I'm excited to share her with our audience, and we have a great video that details and shows Allison out doing what it is she does with horses. So let's go ahead and watch that right now.
High energy. Hugest heart in the world.
She was always very precocious and out front.
Super nice, super smart.
Very true, very real.
I don't know, it's just Allison.
My name is Allison Trimble, and I'm a horse trainer.
Allison is incredibly talented, has helped me immensely with my horse and my horsemanship. And she's different in the sense that she's got horses that people can ride to feel with the maneuvers and are supposed to feel like on a broke horse. And then when you're working with your own horse, it translates into something, I know what that's supposed to feel like now.
She'd stop, got off of her horse, had someone else get on her horse and said, now draw back, turn her around, bring her around, see what that feels like? Oh yeah, I didn't know. Back on their horse, much more possible for them to understand in that context.
I had to sort a lot of stuff out on my own. And I think even more importantly, because I was a non-professional growing up, I owned my own horses, so I have a totally different view of what it means to be sitting on the horse you trained and not really have done a very good job, or be frustrated, or be all those things. I mean, that's very real to me. I mean, I have lived that, I've walked in those shoes, and there's a really big variety of people who come to these kind of clinics, and for this, I think I love it because it's an opportunity to kind of introduce some horsemanship things to people that they haven't considered before, because it becomes really apparent that they can't get from here to there or accomplish the things they want to, and it gives me a platform or an opening to start talking about some of those things, and I think that that's extremely valuable. I mean, kind of the basis of my whole program is that you can train and do these complex maneuvers, but there's still very simple basic principles that you're building on. So I'm encouraging people to, you know, start and have an understanding of horse behavior and training philosophy that's growable, that you can build upon, that is a really, really strong foundation, so you can kind of go as far as your horse is able to go and you're able to go, and that's kind of, to some degree, infinite. And I also am encouraging people who do have more of a performance-based program, or who the horses are more that way, to not forget that the horse does have some intrinsic value, and to, you know, be able to build a relationship with your horse.
I think that Allison is an inspiration to a lot of people because she is very honest and she makes mistakes and she admits it. So she never gives the air that she's infallible and that she's always done it correctly. She's the first one to tell you, don't do that with your horse because this is why, this is what will happen because I've done it.
A lot of the horse training and a lot of Allison's program can come over into life things, life experiences, like the way you train horses. It helps you in life and with people, and I really do believe in Allison's program for that reason, because it's not just horse training.
I really care about the truth of a situation. Is my horse really broke? Not how broke does my horse look, or am I really getting this, or is someone really grasping this concept? Not, you know, did we get by and I say, atta girl today, and you give me my check, and, you know, and we go on about our merry way. I want people to actually improve, and I want to actually improve. I want to be better horsewoman, and better friend, better daughter, better everything, you know.
That she is very genuine. I think she's got a big heart. I think she loves animals beyond measure. I think she really truly cares about people. I think she cares deeply about how successful people are with their horses.
I don't think in Allison's vocabulary the words can't, I mean, that doesn't exist to her. If somebody says something can't be done, she will do it, and she will do it well.
I mean, really what horses and animals mean in our lives is probably more significant than any trophy. It's a really special situation that you can have a relationship like that with an animal that can then go out and empower you in the rest of your life. And I think it's not so much that I'm necessarily an inspiration. I think it's more that they're just allowed to see what they can do, and it's a vehicle for them to get there. And so it helps them believe it's more possible because they see me out and doing it, and they know that I have my shortcomings and my faults, and I can still go out and try. And I think that that's, I mean, there's been many women who've been very inspiring to me that way, and I'm happy that I can help other people really just see what they're capable of doing, more than that it's something necessarily that I'm doing.
Well, Allison, that is a great video, and obviously, as folks at home can see, she has many followers and people that are inspired by you, and I think that's important in this whole industry, to have somebody to look up to and aspire to, getting young people involved, or people who are maybe just getting started with horses, and keeping them going and making sure that they stay confident and want to keep going, don't get frustrated.
For sure.
And you've been there, and that's one of the most important parts of your whole program, is that you have such a great experience.
Well, I started out as a non-professional for a lot of years. I went to Cal Poly and got my degree in animal science there, and that's how I kind of got into cow horses. And you know, we took a 2-year-old on the program that I was and took it to the Snaffle Bit Futurity Sale at Reno, and I was it was my 21st birthday, and we went to Reno, and I watched Smart Santalina win the Futurity, and that was changed the course of my life for sure. And so we bought that filly and took her on, and I showed the next year at Reno. It was my first horse show.
That's a pretty big horse show to just start out at.
Right. So I showed as a non-professional for years, and I for the most part trained my own horses, though I went to a lot of clinics and got a lot of help from people along the way. So I really have been through the process and struggled and kind of learned. I've spent my own, learned what to do and what not to do, and that's maybe a little bit different experience than a lot of people have had that come in as trainers. You know, I've shown my own horses, so I know a lot about what it's like to build that relationship with your horse, and how that can go good and how that can go bad, and all of those things. So I really am mindful of that when I'm helping people, try to help steer them away from some of the mistakes that I made that I maybe wouldn't have known were even going to be mistakes,
Well,
obviously.
that's important for people that want to learn, is like getting those shortcuts and not having to go through what it is that you went through.
I mean, some of the lessons are really important to go through. I mean, some of the experiences you kind of have to be able to really grasp the gravity of it. But there's some of them you certainly don't have to, and so that's my job, is to kind of help people understand why things are the way they
Sure.
are.
Now, competing as a non-pro, what does that mean?
So that means that as a non-professional, you don't make your income off of lessons, training, or anything like that. So we did sell some horses. My family and I had a bunch of brood mares. I kind of, when I graduated from Cal Poly, kind of modeled my life after that. And so we had brood mares, and we had a couple of studs, and we bred and trained those babies, and were kept a lot of the mares on as breeding horses. And so when I kind of changed things around, we brought our brood mares back and used them as lesson horses, because most of those are really successful show horses. And the market wasn't quite there for raising babies, and
Sure.
certainly not in the Northwest, where it's a little more expensive to keep horses. So I've really swapped that around. So I have a lot of lesson horses. I do camps and stuff like that. And so we have these really nice cow horses that have had babies and tolerated me learning on them. So they certainly have a very good sense of humor.
Well,
So.
yeah, that's something we talked about a lot today, was tolerance, and how important, sometimes people get caught up in things and forget how important the horse is in this equation, and how important the relationship is. And not all of us want to go out there and win the big bucks, and you surely have been there and you've done that. And now you're here to share your knowledge and
Well, and I
help other
especially
people.
think it's important because people, even the horses you go out there and win on, there's something special to be going out and winning on a horse that you have that relationship with. I mean, they don't have to be mutually exclusive things. And so I guess I'm kind of advocating that for a lot of people. And for the majority of people, they're building a relationship with their horse. This is their hobby. This is their sport. This is what they do to get away from work. So they want to have that relationship with that individual animal, but they also want to improve, and they want that horse to be the best horse that it can be. And that's where I kind of come in. And I think that for the most part, every horse can be better than where they are. Every person can improve their horsemanship, and including myself and my horses. So that's kind of the journey you're on, and what I enjoy helping people with.
Well, I say that all the time. A good horseman is one that wants to continue learning about their ability to ride and improving their horse. So you obviously have that figured out. What is it about the cow horse work that has kind of gotten your attention over the years?
I mean, I'm a huge fan. The Cow Horse Association is rooted in the tradition, the vaquero tradition of starting horses, and following through their training process. And in my opinion, I think that a cow horse is about the coolest thing that you can ever. I don't know how else to say it. They're a horse that is extremely athletic, extremely physical, but they also are reined. I mean, they're handled, so they have to kind of know their job and also respect and listen to you at the same time. I mean, really, a well-broke trained cow horse, like as in the working cow horse kind, could turn its hand at pretty much anything. I mean, they are using horses as much as they're show horses, and I think it's just a really solid program. I think for a long time it was easy for me to get lost in how talented everyone who participates in cow horse events, whether it's trainers or non-professionals, lose track of how powerful that process is, and what great horse people and athletes and trainers that organization creates. And so I guess that's where I'm kind of trying to help bring that. I think that any horse can benefit from that same type of training, and enjoys cow work. I mean, horses, it's a fresh aspect, I think for both people and the horses, it keeps them really, enjoying their job.
Horses like having a job.
I mean, more important than anything, your horse has to want to come out every day. I mean, and that's the challenge when you're trying to train your own horses. You're frustrated, they're frustrated, you're trying to keep something that, I mean, if all you can do is keep your horse wanting to come back out every day, even if it's, the training's not going exactly how you want it to, that's huge, and I think people can lose track of how important that is.
Well, if you visit Allison, then you'll learn how to get back on track, keep your horse working well, and learn how important building that relationship is with your horse. And so that's what we're learning about here today on Horsetalk Live. We want to make sure that if you have any questions for Allison, you're able to ask her. The phone number is 877-731-6733 here on Horsetalk Live. We are going to take a short break, but we'll be back with more. Stick around.